So we already talked about football earlier in the show, so that means, of course, we have to talk about tailgating and ribs. Joining us this morning is the expert, so you have a lot to live up to. This is Lance with Longhorn Steakhouse, and he's going to give us some great tips on how to make this sizzling, beautiful smelling, beautiful tasting set of ribs.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for the introduction. My name's Lance Bishop. I'm the managing partner of Longhorn Steakhouse in Citrus Park. What we're going to talk about, just like Lauren said, we're going to talk about ribs today. Now at Longhorn, we actually slow roast our ribs for about 4 hours, and once they're slow roasted, then we put them on an open flame and we baste them down with barbecue sauce. And the reason we slow roast them is to make them very tender and fall off the bone. That's where that moniker "fall off the bone" comes from.
There we go.
So, but at home, we understand you don't have all of the commercial appliances and all the equipment that maybe we do in the restaurant. So I'm going to show you a couple of tips that you can use some of this stuff at home with. Okay.
Perfect.
So whenever you got a full rack of ribs, what you want to do is you want to cut them in half. It's just easier to work with. I've already done that here.
Okay.
And then you want to take some rib seasoning and put on it. Now this is a quality proprietary blend that Longhorn uses, and you want to put just about 3/4 of a tablespoon on each side. Once you've added it in.
And this blend, it's you know, Longhorn secret. However, for us who want to make it at home, what mixture of seasonings would you suggest?
There's all kinds of things you can use. Usually it's based on your own preference. People can use salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, brown sugar. There's all kinds of different things you can use. Personally, I like cracked black pepper and a little bit of ghost pepper sea salt on mine, but I like things a little bit spicy. But I digress.
Have a lot of milk on the side.
So now that we've got the ribs seasoned, what you want to do is you want to take them and put them in a half sheet tray, such as this. And you want to put meat side down. Whenever you're talking about ribs, you got the belly, which is the meat side, and the back, which is where all the bones are, okay? And we want to put them down meat side first.
Why?
Reason being is because you want it to soak in the water that we're about to add to it to make it really, really tender. Again, fall off the bone. That's your goal here.
Perfect.
So now we're going to add just about a cup of water. Give or take. You don't have to add it directly on top of the ribs. You just want a little bit in the bottom of the pan. You don't want to completely submerge them, but you do want to make sure that the water is evenly dispersed throughout the pan with the seasoning.
You don't want floating ribs.
I'm going to step behind you just for one moment. I've got some pre-pulled aluminum foil. Once you've added the water to it and the seasoning are in there, you want to make sure that you completely cover the ribs with this, because you want to put them in an oven. Now obviously, like I said, at Longhorn we do ours for about 4 hours. Here at home you might not have to do it that long because you're not going to do the exact quantity that we're going to do. So what we do, what I suggest at home, we preheated the oven to 325. You just add these in just like it is.
TV magic happening right here.
That's right.
Yep.
Put it in there. You want to leave them in 325 for about 2.5 hours, give or take.
Okay.
Then when you pull them out, pull back the tin foil just a little bit. Be careful because their steam's going to come out of there. You can get a steam burn, so be very careful with that. Dump the water off, pull it out. Just give the bone a little nudge, and if it slides right through, that's the fall off the bone tenderness that you know that you've been looking for, and it's ready to go. Now these are already slow roasted. We did these already.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is just put them on the grill. Seasoning's already been added on. You want to make sure we're using an indoor griddle today. Obviously, the best way to do ribs is outside on an open flame. But we're using the griddle. Make sure that the griddle is very well oiled down so the ribs don't stick. Once you've added them on there, you want them to cook on the bone side for about 3.5 minutes.
All right, 3.5 minutes. Cover it with barbecue sauce.
Yes,
and then
baste it down. You baste it down, you cook it for about 3.5 minutes, then you flip it over, do the exact same thing, then flip it one final time for the 3rd time to pull it off and get ready.
And then you have a fabulous stack of ribs to enjoy with a football game.
No doubt, it's going to be awesome.
We'll be right back after quick break.